Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. It's fantastic to be here. My name is Maria Korsant, and I am CEO of SOS Alarm. That is the national company of Sweden for security and safety. Our vision is clear, and it is to create a safer and more secure Sweden for everyone in Sweden. We are 1,200 people, and we operate in 15 emergency centers throughout Sweden. We handle over 3 million emergency calls per year. And our busiest time is when all of you are off. During Christmas, during New Year's, during holidays, when you have weekend, and when you are on Friday night. When you're off, then we are tremendously busy. I'm going to tell you a few things about that, because it is hard, it is difficult to imagine that when you don't work with it every day. And we operate 24 hours a day, all days of the year. We are never off, we never close, because our business is about being ready and on all the time. If you think about exactly this time but a year ago, do you remember what happened? A hot and intensive May started our summer. Then it became midsummer, and it hailed, so everybody thought, yes. Because when the hot weather and the dry weather got really bad, the pressure on emergency number got really high. So we thought the hail and the rain is going to actually solve our issue. But the day after it was hot again, and the intensive fires really started, and they got really bad the second week of July. I don't know if any of you remember that or not, but I remember that. Because when that happened, all of us who worked with it actually went on total readiness, state of readiness. The Swedes who might not know what state of readiness is, stabsläge. So the whole summer for us was stabsläge. Just a few data on that. If a normal day, we receive 9,000 emergency calls. On a New Year's Eve, normally we receive about 13,000 to 14,000. Not really double, but just about. The summer that passed, when we were in state of readiness the whole time, a few days of a week, they were at that level. It was heavy, it was tough, it was a lot of work, but I think Swedes did a really good job. All of us did. Everybody did a good job. We worked together because we had one primary goal. The ones who were in emergency needed to get help here and now, and it was extremely important. So we did our best to do that, and we did a good job. So thanks to everyone, it went really well. And back to when you're off, everything happens. Things happen in our society. A lot of things happen in our society. We have fires in buildings, and we have traffic problems, we have boat accidents, we have water floods, power outages, crisis, violence, terror attacks, heart failure, and strokes, and much, much more. These are everything that are happening in our society. And when they do happen in our society, what is the most important thing? The people who are on need get support as quickly and as fast as possible. The summer story that I told you is one of those. It happened, and then we all focused on that. Through a wide range of services, SOS Alarm contribute to a safer and more secure Sweden for everyone. This is our core business. We have a wide range of services, And actually what our services together with us do is people who are on need in different scenarios. These are different scenarios that I'm presenting for you that make sure that they get the support and the help as quickly as possible. Our operators who are on call all the time, 24/7, what they do really when emergency calls come is through listening to the person who is in emergency need, through listening to the person, try to understand what is it that really happened, where did it happen, and to make sure that the right help is coordinated at the right time to make sure that the person in need gets help as quickly as possible. Is innovation needed for security and safety? That we are talking about security and safety. And I'm willing to say security and safety is the area that's expanding quite vastly and a lot. And because of that, innovation is extremely important for that. But to give a view of innovation a little bit, I have to back up a little bit and go to some years ago, where actually the means of alerting and sending alarms was by church bells. It was a lot of years ago, but there were church bells. And that's the way that we could tell people that we are in need and there is emergency, here we come. And then after a while, the church bells ended up being fire systems. And they ended up later on becoming sirens. None of us remember that. Now maybe we're starting to remember that. Telegraphs, do you remember that? And even telephones, when they came, then it was innovation in every word. So yes, I think safety and security has gone through innovation all the time. And are we going to prioritize that going forward? Of course we are. We live in a society that has a lot of challenges. A society where it is an aging society. Healthcare is really good in our society. We get older. And we have babies, and we get more people in the world, and different nationalities in the world. So we have to understand the different languages and all of that. So yes, we have a society that puts a lot of demands and challenges on us. At the same time, this society gives us a lot of opportunity with technology that gives us opportunity to build the next innovation and the next innovation. So innovation are important. Do we work with innovation? Of course we do. We work with universities and we work with research projects in Sweden and outside of Sweden. We take behavior, put it together with technology, and then create the next dispatch system. Actually, that's the way it works. In security and safety, you can never take behavior and people away from technology. They go hand in hand. That's my world. That I think is so extremely interesting. And we, of course, have hackathons, and we work with it, and we get ideas, and we develop our ideas. Now, taking us to the next time move of or innovation, and all of you guys know that the major part of the emergency calls that come to SOS Alarm come through mobile phones. Of course they do. 85% are mobile phones calls that we receive. I'm going to tell you a challenge about it, but I have a few slides before that. Mobile phones are important. They know a lot about us. They know where we are and what we do and our behavior. We have an app that our customers love to use. And what this app really does, gives the opportunity to our customers, fire rescues, and other customers that they needed, to understand where in our society, there's a map, and the map of Sweden, where in our society in Sweden events are happening, accidents, fire, climate issues, and all of that. So you can see that in the area that you want, and then follow. How is it going? How is the upgrade going? And that's real time. Extremely interesting. We are developing another app, which is useful for you and I. Everyday citizen. to actually, through that app, we haven't launched it yet, we're still developing it, to know what is happening in my vicinity, in my app, that I should know about, and because of that, take corrective actions. All of a sudden, we take it from a general map to my vicinity, and to understand how do I take corrective actions because of that, or in order to solve that. And yet another one that's important, social media. Do we think that alarms can come through social media? I think they're going to happen in the future, yes. How long does it take? I think it's going to go step by step. How many of you have Alexa, Siri, or Cortana at home? Probably you do. Yes, me too. Aren't they great? Can you see the next step of that? Can you see that these devices actually can translate real time to different languages? You know, one of the challenges that SOS Alarm has, we translate about 200 languages. Can we get help from some of these devices to translate real time for us? I think that's going to happen. Images and devices, extremely important. Right now, it is through hearing, the sense of hearing, that gives us our information. It is a difficult job to be an operator at SOS Alarm. It really is. You have to be extremely good at reading situations and by through only hearing. Just imagine if you could see, if you could stream, if you could see videos on that. So much information we can get. Do we do parts of that? Yes, partly, but mainly for disabled people that can't do that. So we have some of that, and we are developing that. Or we're going to take it to the next step, to have it for a broader group of people. Looking at it as well, there are some challenges connected to it. So opportunities are mind-boggling, and they're great. Sensors, are they interesting? Just imagine if a sensor in a building which is in fire or might be on fire could actually send an alarm to a SOS Alarm saying, this building is going to cut on fire. Is it going to happen? Why not? The technology is there, really. Just imagine another thing. A sensor in body, maybe in a pacemaker, that could detect a heart failure, and before the heart failure happens, actually to send an alarm. Are we thinking about that? Of course we are. Of course we are thinking about that, because these are part of the next generation dispatcher system. Of course we are thinking about that. Maybe a sensor in a car can actually alarm the system and say that there has been an accident. Is there the application on that? Yes, there is. We're going to come back to that. Our mission is right help, right place, right time. Now, the opportunities that I mentioned, aren't they interesting, all of them? What is the main challenge to that? Maybe the technology is there, we know that. But what about laws, regulation, and rules? Positioning is one of the main important and a prerequisite in everything that we do. Position you correctly, exactly when you call. How many of you think that when you call a SOS Alarm through your mobile phone, we can position you exactly where you are? Okay. Hands up. You know, technically we can. No issue. But legislation-wise, we can't. Why? I think it's because integrity rules and laws that hinder us to do that. There are more legislation issues and rules like that, but this is one of them. Advanced mobile location is one of these. We really want the Swedish authorities to interpret it as it's okay. Finns do that, but Swedes don't. So we really like that, and we want to position you, because a lot of the opportunities that I mentioned to you require exact positioning. And that's one of the issues that's extremely important. Yes, we are working on it. Another thing that we did actually change the law because we convinced our politicians to do that is for public warnings. Viktig meddelande till allmänheten, VMA, in English, public warnings. Actually, what happens before, about a couple of years ago, when the law wasn't changed, it is SOS is the one who gives public warnings, actually. We initiate it and we send it. Before, we sent it to, or we were allowed only to send it to the mobile phones that were registered in that area. Evacuate this area, there is fire there, you need to evacuate that now, like that. You know, a lot of people who were registered, they were in New York or some other place, and all of a sudden they got a message, evacuate, there is fire there, and there wasn't fire there, of course, because we sent it to the people who were registered the mobiles in that area, but they weren't there. And that was a law that we needed to change. We changed that. We convinced our politicians to change that. Wasn't it great? And because of that, since about a year and a half ago, we are actually able to alarm, to send viktig meddelande till allmänheten or public warning to the ones who are actually in that area to evacuate. And there is even next step on that. I see that you're watching your clock. I have a few more slides. I can imagine that Björn is looking at me as well. A car, yeah. Is your car able to send an alarm when something happens and an emergency happens? Yes, if you have a car that has that function in it. Because since about a year ago, there is a law to have that function in the car. So if you have those cars, yes, your car then automatically sends an alarm. There is a sensor in the car who does that. And even there is another option. If the driver wants to push it manually, can do that as well. So yes, sensors are working. But the one that you may not know is, do we have that for motorcycles? We don't really yet, but we are testing it because we think it's important, even for motorcycles to have that. A driver who's driving and something happens, an accident, then the driver's phone can send, because we are just testing the application, alarm to our operator who immediately calls the driver back to see if something happens. If the driver doesn't answer, of course, corrective actions taken. And I'm going to go fast. This is one of our crown jewels, situational awareness. We monitor globally 24/7, all the time, and nationally to see, can something happen in the world or in Sweden? It might be fire, it might be climate issues, it might be terror attacks, it might be a lot of other issues which may impact Sweden when it comes to security and safety. It's monitoring all the time, and we create situational awareness, and we always share that with us, with the different companies and authorities that are connected to that, in order to have the same information to make clever decisions always. And we've done that during this summer that we have behind us. We did that and published it for everyone 4 times a day. And this is one of the areas that we put a lot of focus on that, because we think preventing safety and security issues are as important as actually working with that as they happen. Artificial intelligence, extremely important. We are working with artificial intelligence, especially connected to medical decision support that we have, a system that we have. Just imagine, through a system, easily to understand a lot faster than a person can understand. If there is a heart failure going on, when the one who's in danger calls in and wants to talk, are they possible? Yes, they are. And we are looking at them. So these are some of the trends. Why not a drone that we can send in to a building which is in fire to understand what's going on, to give us information. Why sending people? Why not drones? Now, I'll save the best for the last. Sweden is one of the countries that has a long history of having one emergency numbers for all of the emergency issues that can happen. Not all of the countries do have that. Some countries do have that. But Sweden is one of the countries who has a long history of that. And we believe, truly, honestly believe, that that's the reason that we have a coherent alarm management system that gives us the ability to focus the person who's in danger and in emergency issue and make sure that she or he gets support as fast and effectively as possible. Yes, people are the most important that we have. The rest is technology, but people are the most important. Now, I have a clip for you, which is only 20 seconds. I like to show it for you, because right now there is a TV series going on Channel 5 on Mondays that actually shows our emergency centers on open TV. Our operators, dispatchers, the way they work, they cry after each call, they laugh after each call, because it's really close to our heart. Now, that you're going to see in 20 seconds, what he's doing is all of our dispatchers at the SOS Alarm like to do in their career as fast as possible. He gives birth to a baby through helping a pair who are in the car, and the baby is born in the car. So giving a birth to a baby over the phone. You're not going to see the whole part because it takes time. You're going to see only 20 seconds of it. And the reason that you're going to see only 20 seconds of it, to see how people are important, because it touches your heart.
Vad har inträffat? Då sitter en bil på väg mot förlossningen och vi kommer inte hinna fram. Ambulanserna är på väg, så vi ska komma så fort vi kan. Hur mår hon nu, din fru? Hon är redo att förlösas, jag tror. Förlossningen? Ja. Vad är det, barnet som kom ut där? Ja, nu är bebisen född. Han andas och skriker, ser normal ut. Ja, jag tycker jag.
SOS Sverige, premiär ikväll klockan 9.
We actually, all of our operators love to do this because they love to be one of the first one that they get their SOS baby. And they are called SOS baby. So thanks a lot. People are everything, and technology is only enabler.